People deluded, yeah. Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon on Thursday, as you know, 8 p.m. kickoff in the UK for those who live in the UK. And if you don't, try and calculate what it would be for your equivalent. But on Thursday, we're back in European action. 2 games in a week this week. I believe we've got Wolves on either the Saturday or the Sunday. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But yeah, 2 games in a week, fresh off of, we can't draw too many conclusions and stuff like that, and we have to be guilty not to overhype things, but of a good point against Liverpool. By the same token, there's many things we could have said about the game. We could have said that Liverpool could have won it. If you look at the Mane incident, a couple of incidences where Van Dijk was found unmarked and things like that. If they go in, different things happen. Even a couple times we hit the post, they hit the post, sorry. By the same token, we could have won it and things like that. But it's a good point, and we're still undefeated, and it's a good feeling. But it means nothing if we don't continue this. Specific to Europa League action, it's the reverse fixture. I know we're 3 points ahead of Sporting Lisbon because we beat them at their place. But if they win, we'll only be ahead on goal difference, and it would make the last either what would that we were. If I swear that would be the fifth fixture we're playing against Sporting Lisbon, and would make the last fixture in Europa League, or the second from last, or whenever it is, the last remaining fixtures in the Europa League, a nervy one. We want to get first. It's not like, well, again, admittedly, because I've been spoiled as an Arsenal fan, always been in the Champions League. My knowledge on Europa League is a bit off. I can't really confirm some of the stats, but in regards to Champions League sides dropping down into the competition and the latter stages and stuff like that, you want to finish first. Obviously, they've got rid in the Champions League of seeding, essentially, and anyone can get anyone both in the group stages and in the latter stages. But finishing first, you could probably avoid someone or try and navigate through the competition. You could also away from that, it's just on the basis of this is a group that Arsenal realistically, I don't want to say win every game because football is completely different, but different to what could and should happen sort of thing. But it's these fireworks are really putting me off. I need to shut up. But it's a group stage where you'd expect Arsenal to win and top and stuff like that, and on the basis of winning and keeping the winning feeling and them things and all of them good things up, you just want to win the group essentially, man. We win this, we put ourselves in a very good position in regards to this spot possibly not being gained by anybody else. Who knows? A couple young players could probably debut. Those who are not in the side or playing as much in football this season, even when they get the chance, might get an extended run in the side. And ultimately, I don't want to say switch our attentions elsewhere, but allow us to kind of strategize other things. So yeah, Sporting Lisbon, it took a late Danny Welbeck strike, if I can remember correctly, to beat them. So they put in a good what's that? They put a good account of themselves, people, in my opinion. The crowd played with them and matched their energy. I felt they were very street smart. They earned a lot of fouls. They gave away a lot of fouls. They played very committed. They made a lot of good runs. They threatened our keeper. They weren't... Yeah, a couple of opportunities could have went in another day. Probably lacked a bit of quality in terms of the final third, but they gave us a lot to be concerned about. If I remember his name correctly as well, Nani, Carlos Mane, a couple other players like that were troubling us. So it's not an easy... There's never any easy games in football, and I'd expect us to win and things like that, but you see what I'm saying? There's nothing more to say other than that. Like, we can't sit here and force it. Like, there's nothing else to say. Admittedly, I should have checked who Sporting Lisbon played this weekend, but they've probably played this week as well and got their attentions firmly fixed on the game and probably want to put right at the Emirates what could have happened for them at their ground, because they could have got a point out that game. They could have got 3 points out that game. So they might be a bit more G'd up. They could possibly think Arsenal. If I'm them, I'd think Arsenal. Honestly, if I was in that side and we lost 1-0 with the late Danny Welbeck effort, I would think Arsenal are overrated. I would have the mentality that Arsenal are overrated, and they were fortunate to get that late strike for Danny Welbeck for them. And on another day, maybe they don't get the rub of the green, or if we start off in a better fashion, take our chances and things along them lines, we could win. So if I'm a Sporting Lisbon player, I'm 100% on it and got a point to prove. Obviously, looking down, I believe below us things could be interesting. I do think Sporting will hang on to second. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but if they were to lose, it could make things interesting, and they could even come out of the Europa League, if I remember rightly, and I've checked correctly the Europa League groups. But yeah, there's enough reason for both sides to go for this, essentially. The only thing is the lineup. Now, I must admit, I'm a bit confused of whether I would give game time to probably Rob Holding, who I believe needs a rest and would rest him for the Premier League weekend. He's played a lot of football. And do I bring in El Nene, who didn't really cover himself in the best glory in the last opportunity he got, or play Emil? Give him. Obviously, we saw Emil bag his first goal at the Emirates recently. His last Europa League start, he did well. Possibly give our young G some more minutes. Essentially, do I give Mkhitaryan game time, or do I bring a Iwobi back into the side? I'm not too sure. So let's just start with what I have on paper. I've gone with Cech in goal. He's nursed his way back to full fitness. Leno's retained the spot. You'd undoubtedly expect Cech to come into the side in midweek. So yeah, Lichtsteiner, however you want to say his name, will play for me at right back. I do feel you could give Bellerin another run out, but considering we had to patch my man up to play for us, and it's commendable to Bellerin. Big up yourself. You put in the performance you did with your thigh or whatever muscle it was bandaged up. Probably smart to rest him and things like that, and think about the fixture at the weekend. Be interesting to see his weekly training schedule, because I'm making this on the Sunday. Monday, they probably didn't. I wouldn't rule it out under Unai Emery. They might have had a light session or something on Sunday, but my guess probably had Sunday off or come in for massages and things like that. Monday back at it, and then Tuesday obviously all the preparation and everything is going into Thursday's fixture. So I'm not too sure. Maybe Bellerin, considering his injury, maybe he's given a lighter working week and we try and nurse him and get him through it, and we step up his intensity in terms of training as we end the week. I'm not a physio or anything, so I don't know, but you get the point. So I'd probably play Lichtstein, give him minutes. Socrates has been injured as well, and quite rightly so. I mean, Mustafi deserves to hold on to his place, maybe not for the Palace game, but definitely after what he played against Liverpool, and holding in regards to the next Premier League game. But Socrates could get some minutes, shake off any rustiness he might have had prior to that game at the weekend, if he is selected to start as well. So I'll go with Socrates and Mustafi on the basis that I feel Holding needs to rest a bit. It's good that he's playing a lot of football, but I feel we're getting to the period now. We're in November. We kind of need to be smart with our side. And Arsenal have had, I don't want to say a mini injury crisis, but we've had a mini injury crisis of sorts. I mean, we've had quite a few injuries already into the season, so we've probably got to be smart. Cola's fit. He did look a bit rusty and he didn't complete the game against Liverpool. Obviously, we're trying to take it easy, but you'd think on Thursday, on paper, he's our only fit available left back. We know Maitland-Niles can be makeshift. It remains to be seen whether Monreal could make that game. I'm not too sure of his status in regards to his injury progress and when he'll be back. But you'd like to think we'd be able to get 90 minutes out of Kola in that game, or a substantial period of time. So he would complete my back five, including the keeper. So to recap: Cech, Kola, Mustafi, Socrates, and Lichtstein. Midfield, I'll go with Guendouzi. Obviously, he got sent off. He's back now. He served his suspension, unless it's a 2-game one, but I'm pretty sure it's only one. He's back available for domestic selection, but having had to miss out of the Liverpool game in all capacity due to his red card against Blackpool, he can get minutes in the Europa League against Sporting. I would play him. I really want my man Maitland-Niles to get some more minutes. He got some good minutes under his belt in the last cup competition. I would love him to start in midfield again. So it'd be them two in the pivot role for me. And then where it gets tricky in regards to what I said at the beginning of this video is, do I play El Nene? Because I do feel if I select Emil, I have faith in them to go out and do the job, but I need to be wary. Sporting Lisbon has some seasoned pros amongst their ranks. For as much as I love Guendouzi, Maitland-Niles, and if Emil was to start, that's a very young trio in midfield. Possibly if the game goes a different way, something might happen that negatively affects us as a club in regards to taking 3 points. We might not be the most switched on street smartness wise. All three might be guilty of being a bit naive in terms of their positioning. El Nene's positioning this season has been a bit appalling for me, and I keep getting annoyed at seeing him pressing as a striker, but he's a more experienced head. So I'm going to go with my instinct, and I'm going to go with Emil in the 10 role, but that's just something I'm thinking about people in regards to El Nene. So Emil is going to go into the Smith role. Obviously, he's going to go into our midfield. Yeah, that is Smith role. I always get that the wrong way around, but Emil's going to go into the 10 role. Midfield, up front, Danny Welbeck. He's obviously going to get game minutes and deserves it, so I'm going to play Welbs up there. Lacazette and Aubameyang's a difficult one. I feel Lacazette's probably played a lot of minutes, having completed 90 in the Crystal Palace and thingy game. I feel he probably could rest him, so I'd go with Aubameyang, give him a chance to play through the middle properly. Wells do the thing out on the flanks, get a goal as well. And Aubameyang has been a frustrating customer. He hasn't actually completed 90 minutes at least in the league. I haven't checked in all comps in a hot minute, people. He actually hasn't done it as well. He's only done it twice this season, and that was actually in the early weeks. He's completed 89 minutes on the time, but that's only a handful. So I'd like to see him play a big part of the game. Probably get 60 minutes. Ideally, I'd like to see Aubameyang score. He bagged against Palace. I don't want to say his confidence up, but he does look like he gets angry when he's subbed. Like the team don't. I don't want to say the team don't trust him or Emery don't trust him, because clearly they do. But for want of better phrases or words, people, looks a bit like that. And the last position, which I'm a bit skeptical on, is Iwobi versus Mkhitaryan for the last flank position. My heart wants to go with Iwobi. I feel Iwobi was unlucky to be dropped against Liverpool, and he could pick up some more minutes going into the weekend against Wolves, I believe. Play him on the right-hand flank. By that same token, even though Mkhitaryan was terrible, it's a chance to keep your squad happy and keep man playing 90 minutes of all competitions and things like that, because in May, certain people might be angry. I'd play Mkhitaryan. I mean, I think Mkhitaryan's been quite underwhelming this season, but you never know what it would do for his confidence if he was to play in this game and score and things like that. So I'd probably want to play Iwobi at the weekend, so my heart would say not to play him or to play him and sub him, but I also want to go with Mkhitaryan. I'm going to go with Iwobi because that was my first instinct. So to recap the team, people, these fireworks. Checking goal, Lichtstein at right back. Left back is our man Kola, Siad Kola. Socrates and Mustafi partner each other at centre half. In midfield, I've gone with Guendouzi, Maitland-Niles and Emil. Up front, we've obviously gone with Iwobi, the man in question, Danny Welbeck and Aubameyang up front. That should be enough to beat them. Best scenario for me would be, I know Arsenal ain't really scored too many, we ain't scored in the first half of a game, have we, this season? But ideally, score in the first half, put the game to bed in the first half, go out into the second, within the first 10, 15 in the second half, look to take off the likes of Aubameyang, like I've said in this game, possibly Mustafi as well. Maybe even Kola in regards to, I don't know from Monreal's fitness levels, and Kola's missed a bit of weeks, so I do think he could play 2 games in a week, considering he got minutes against Liverpool on the Saturday. But maybe even it might be worth taking him off. Maitland-Niles, we don't know how far he is along in his recovery. He got some minutes for the under-23s and he got some good minutes in the Cup. And he's obviously, the days are going by, he's getting stronger, so I'd like to think he could complete 90 minutes. But I'm not too sure, so maybe to even take him off. If Iwobi, like I said, featuring on the weekend, take him off. Everybody but check, essentially. Put it to bed, look forward to the Wolves game, put ourselves in an even better position and confirm, even if it wasn't confirmed already, our progression into the next stages of the Europa League. So there's not much. While there's not much to say on this game and stuff, there's always something riding, and I would like to get any complacency out of our game, because I'm very wary on the threat that Sporting Lisbon might come with, because they've got nothing to lose. Everybody expected them to lose. They probably expected Arsenal to score a couple of more goals at their place, and if I was them, like I said, I would assume that Arsenal are overrated and they can beat them. So yeah, people, that's all I got to say in regards to the preview. So we'll see at 8 p.m. on Thursday, English time, UK time. So yeah, people, if you wish, comment, subscribe and do the rest. All my socials are in the description. DeludedGuna04 on every social application apart from Snapchat, which is DGuna04. So yeah, people, thank you very much for watching. I'm out.